And a throne is done what? Put in place. And when this throne is being put in place, there is another thing which is happening. That he sees the what? Is it the what? The son of who? The son of who? Allah? That one I've jumped to verse 13. He sees the Son of Man is also doing what? Is also coming with the what? With the clouds of what? Of heaven. So Daniel is being given a vision. And this vision he's being given shows us something of which it makes the core foundation of our topic today. We are seeing a throne is being set, Ancient of Days is coming and sitting, and what is beginning? The judgment is beginning, Cindy. And this judgment, which is beginning, we are seeing another person, that is the Son of Man, is going what? Is coming before the what? Before the throne, before the ancient of who? Ancient of Days. So perhaps we may ask ourselves, because this topic is a bit deep in prophecy, but I would like us to make it light so that we may go very fast because of the time. So the ancient of day is God Himself. So God set out the throne is being set in heaven. Mhm. When the throne is set in heaven, then we are seeing the Son of Man as our intercessor. The Son of Man is coming before who? Before God. And when he goes before God, he comes with the what? With the clouds of what? Of heaven. The prayers of the what? The prayers of the saints. And all their supplication, he comes with them before the what? Before the Father. And what is happening here, or what is beginning here, is the what? Is the probation. Tunaelewana lakini? Are we together? Now, what is beginning there is the probation. And we may ask ourselves, when did this happen? When did the probation begin? By the way, that one is, I know most of us, not even most of us, all of us know. Sindio? When did the probation begin? Probation? When did probation begin? Yes? 1844. So in 1844, a throne is set where? In heaven. And what is beginning? A judgment. And the judgment begins with who? The righteous dead. Sindio? Then it will come to the what? To the living. And when it comes to the living, then the end of probation shall come to an end. Then we shall do what? The Son of Man will come. Now, we are seeing the probation beginning. And when the probation is beginning, we know everything that has the beginning must have a what? An end. And when we come to the book of Matthew, can somebody open the book of Matthew very fast? Matthew 22, verses 8. Matthew 22, verses 8. Are we there? Can somebody read it? 22, verses 8. Then you jump to 14. 22, 8.
The Bible says, Then said he to his servants, The wedding is ready, but they which were bidden were not worthy.
Jump to 14.
Verse 14. For many are called, but few are chosen.
All right. Actually, we are supposed to read that verse from verses 8 to 14. Is when we will understand it. But because of time, I'm shortening it. But the Bible tells us in verses 8, then he said to his what? His servant, The wedding is ready, but those who were invited were not what? Were not worthy. Therefore, go into the highways and as many as you find, invite to the wedding. So those servants went out into the highway and gathered together all whom they found, both bad and good, and the wedding hall was filled with the guests. But when the king came into the in to see the what? To see the guest. Actually, this is what I wanted. To see the guest, he saw a man there who did not have what? Who did not have what? A wedding garment. So we are seeing Jesus also gives a parable on how the investigative judgment is happening. Cindy, he tells us that before the second coming of Jesus Christ, there must be a judgment, or there must be an investigative what? Judgment. And this investigative judgment, the judge himself will be who? He will be? Who will be the judge there? Uh-huh. Can I hear from the congregation? Actually, I've just said. We said it before. Who is the judge? Jesus? Uh-huh. Another idea? Eh? God. So which is which? I need now the specific one now. God. Jesus. Okay, we are divided. We are divided. Okay. So we began with who? With the which chapter? Daniel, sindio? And the Daniel, when we began with Daniel 7:9, ilikuwa inasema aje? The ancient of day was, then who was coming? So who is the judge? Eh? The Son of Man. Uh-huh. Who is the judge? Okay, let's go back. Open the book of Daniel. Daniel chapter 7. Daniel chapter 7 verses 9. Are we there? Can somebody read it? Uh-huh. 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 Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, who is sitting on that throne? Huh? God. Uh-huh. So if you get to a court, then somebody is seated there. Hapo penye unatengenezea. Then verses 13 says. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yes. So are we now together? The ancients of days is the what? Is the what? Is the judge. Sasa tuko pamoja. Hizi vitu huwa zinachanganya watu. So we have to be careful when we are dealing with the prophecy. So that's why we say investigative judgment. When investigative judgment is happening or taking place, God himself is the judge, but Jesus is our what? Our what? Is our high priest and is our intercessor and is our what? Lawyer before the what? Before the court. Are we together? Are we now together? We can now move together. Yeah. So the ancients of days sit. Now Jesus is also giving us an hint of what? Of what will be happening when he was still here. And now we are asking ourselves. When did this happen? Started. We have said in when? In 1844. And Jesus gave us a signs of the end times, Indio. Signs of the end time. Now, when Jesus Christ gave us the signs of the end time, together with the prophecy of Daniel and prophecy of who? John in Revelation, we can get an hint of what will happen towards the end of probation. Sindio? Now, what will happen? Now, I was asking myself, now, if the probation is almost ending, and Christ told us that the probation is what? Christ told us that God will be looking or judging his people. He will be in nowadays language we can say atakuwa na chuja, si ndio? Kuchuja. Umejua kuchuja? Kuchuja wale wenye hawafai. So all are invited in the what? In the wedding feast. But to those people, actually, that part has also a meaning. Those people who were invited were found unworthy. Maybe we'll ask ourselves one day that who are these people who are invited? But for now, let us just go this way. We'll skip that one for another day. So we are seeing that those people who were invited were not worthy, but it was open to what? To everybody, because the messengers went to highway to call everybody, both bad and what? And good. And when both bad and good good people came, God is now doing the what? The investigation. How many have done what? Oh, sorry. How many have the what? The wedding gown. And he found some people having not what? A wedding gown. Then he said to his servant, that bound this person and throwing outside where there is what? Darkness, and there is what? Weeping and gnashing of teeth. Sindio? Now, we'll be asking ourselves, what will happen to his saint before his second coming? Now, let's go to the book of Daniel. Daniel chapter 11, chapter 11, verses 40. Tungesoma hadi 45, but I want somebody to read 40 and 41, then you jump to 44 and 45. Uh-huh. Yes. Yes. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. 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 Yes. Mm-hmm. 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 Thank you very much. Now, this one is a war. It is a war of which historically, it is there historically. And it is also a spiritual war. We are seeing the king of the north attacking the what? His enemy, the king of south, India. And we are saying, the Bible is telling us very clearly that when he was about to conquer, then his what? His conquest will come to what? To an end, India. And this one is also telling us about the spiritual war. That the spiritual war that we are in, many people shall be persecuted. Many of us, many of the Christians, shall undergo a very severe what? Persecution. Very severe persecution, painful moment, disappointing moment. And when this thing will be happening, It is the war that we are seeing there between the northern and the south, the northern and the southern. That this at this moment is when the world government shall be implementing some kind of laws to suppress the what? To suppress the Christian. And this thing we are seeing even at today, in our present day. Do you know what is happening outside there? Do you know what is happening uh, in the papacy what? In the papacy reign? Do we know what is happening? Let somebody read me the book of Matthew. Matthew 24. 24. I want 15. Then you jump to 21 and 22. Mm-hmm.
Therefore, when you see the abomination of desolation
Mm-hmm.
spoken of by Daniel the prophet,
Yes.
standing in the holy place,
Mm-hmm.
whoever reads, let him understand.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 22.
21 and 22.
1.
And 22.
For then there will be great tribulation,
Mm-hmm.
such as not been since the beginning of the world
Yes.
this time, no, nor ever shall be. 22.
Mm-hmm.
And unless those days were shortened, no flesh will be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days will be shortened.
Thank you very much. So the Bible has given us. I want us to understand this part very well. Jesus Christ is telling us the truth which is to happen to us, and most of us will have to undergo this short great tribulation. We have a short period of tribulation, and that one will be for the Christian, for the saint of God, and there will be what is called the great tribulation. Great tribulation will happen not for the people of God, but that one is, we find it in the book of Revelation 16. Revelation 16, when now the balls of the angels are now pouring their what? The balls from their what? So when that will be happening, that great tribulation will be for the what? For the niseme for the enemies of God. But we have a short tribulation, and this short tribulation is to find us, or to refine us, that we may come out as what? As a finely refined what? Gold. And this is what Jesus is now saying, that in those days, if it was not shortened, then what will happen? No one will be found what? No one will be found. Ala, kwani ya malon? Tumeanza kulala. No one will be found. No one will be saved. Sindio? Why? Now, what will happen to the saint? Okay, let me give you this story. I know most of us, perhaps some have seen it, or all of us, or some of us knows, or some of us don't know. And to those who doesn't know, let me give you an hint that as we speak now, do you know the Sunday's laws have been made? How many knows about that? There is Sunday laws, not law. There is Sunday laws that precede the Sunday law. How many knows about the Sunday laws have been made? Huh? Atujui? Are you serious? So the Sunday laws have been made. When Trump got into, we know the prophecy of America, Cindy. When Trump got into power, Trump got there with a hidden agenda. And as history says, that when Trump got into power, he had been groomed by the group of the Bilderberg. How many knows about the Bilderberg? Huh? How many knows about the Bilderberg? How many does know? Sasa hapo na wengine wenye hawajabeba, where are you now? How many knows I have? How many knows I have? Eh? Wanajua lakini hawajui, ama hawajui lakini wanajua. How many how many wako hapo? Okay, the Bilderberg is a group of elites, and they are the people controlling the world. We know about the World Economic Forum, India. We know about that one. Do we know the agenda? The agenda is to bring the what? The fourth industrial revolution. And the fourth industrial revolution, that which is coming, they are implementing it now, is to do what? Is to made or manufacture human being. Now, have you ever heard of that? Eh? Do we know that the World Economic Forum had their annual meeting last week? How many knows about that? Wow. Okay. How many how many knows what is happening within our church at this moment of time from Sunday? Eh? What was happening? G6. G6 session. Sindio? And what was happening in that G6 session? Eh? Elections, sindio? And there were also agendas which were coming up, sindio? How many were tackled? There was an agenda which was suppressed, and the people they just overpass it. How many had that? Eh? There was agenda which was brought up by this pastor called Johnson. How many followed that? Okay, we I see most of us doesn't know it. So, Cindy, so let me say this. The group of Bilderberg, just go and search the Bilderberg in either internet. We have internet nowadays. You can look at. There is also this person who is called Walter Viet. How many have heard about the Walter Viet of the Amazing Discovery? Amazing Discovery Ministry. How many have watched his movies or his teaching? Wangapi watch? Eh? Okay. The Bilderberg is the group of elite and world government elites. They are the people behind the movement and the implementation of the papal what? The papal encyclic that is the Laudato Si. The Laudato Si, what is there is the conservation of what? Environment, Cynthia. Conservation of environment. And the conservation of environment is to come up when it is fully implemented, it will bring what is called the what? The Sunday law. Because in that encyclical, Pope is suggesting that if people can observe just one day, and that one day they call it the Sabbath of the what? Of the Jewish. And which is that Sabbath? That is the Sunday. And if people can observe that one, that day no cars on the road, that day there is no emission of what? Of carbon dioxide. If the people can do that, then the world will be a better state. They are also pushing about the laws, the communist agenda. The communist agenda is to do what? Is to have everybody equal. Everybody owns everything and everybody owns nothing. Umenielewa hapo? Eh? You own everything and you own nothing. In other words, if this one is your house and maybe you go to up country, when you stay there more than 2 weeks and somebody was sleeping on the street and he finds the house there is nobody today, tomorrow, and the next day, you will just come in and stay there. If you come from up country and you find him there, you will not get it. Get him how? So that one has become his possession. You also just look for another one and you do what? So everybody, if you find somebody's car there, then that car you can, and the owner is not there, you just take it, you drive away. When you leave it somewhere, you park it somewhere very nice, and you get to office you are working. When you come out, you find somebody has gone with it. You also just look for somebody's which is there. Just take that one. So that is how the communist agenda is working. That is just a small part of it, what I'm telling you. So these people, the Bilderberg group entails world governments, the United States what? Presidents. What you see happening now is the agenda of Pope. The purpose, what you see the Russian and Ukraine what? Fight. This thing is that have been brought up to suppress the economy. And when economy shall be suppressed until people will be now crazy with their government, then these people will come up with a solution. And the solution that they will come up with is implementing the what? The World Economic what? Government agenda. And the World Economic Agenda is to use the what? How many have heard about the cryptocurrency? How many have heard about the cryptocurrency? Yes, you have heard about the cryptocurrency. And what the cryptocurrency is, it entails what we call the cashless society. Cindy, how many we have heard of the cashless society? So when all government shall implement the cashless society, then what will happen? There will be a body that will be regulating what you use, what you will be using. You have a money, but how you use it is being monitored by who? By somebody else. Tunaelewana lakini? Is being monitored by somebody else. Now this thing is coming to do what? Do you know at the moment we are talking, there is what is called a carbon, uh, something like carbon card. In other words, that card, people will be forced to have it, by the way, that it will be monitoring how much you emit the carbon. If you are traveling with a vehicle, how much that vehicle is going to cause the damage to the environment. And that card is going to monitor us. And it has been implemented. And do you know that in Australia,